Dear children, good morning. After a gap of 1 week, I am going to continue the teaching of your ninth lesson from your textbook, Madam Rides the Bus. Third part in page number 122. I hope you all remember what happened in first two parts. Valli, the small child, getting into the bus and riding. Though a lady and others asking so many questions, she is not answering. Third part. Her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plans, preparation she had to make for it. She was planning for a long time. She had thriftily means spending money very carefully, saved whatever stray coins came her way. Changes, coins she was getting while she was going to the shops, resisting, controlling every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like. And finally, she had saved a total of 60 pice. That journey, 30 pice, village to town, another 30 pice, town to village. How difficult it had been for a small child, particularly the day at the village fair. Her mother took her, but she had resolutely stifled, that means controlled her desire, a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. She saved all the money for her bus ride. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. Without her mother's knowledge, she thought of going out of the house, getting into the bus, traveling from the village to town all alone. But she managed this without too much difficulty, because every day after lunch, afternoon, her mother used to nap from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock. That is 3 hours. Mother used to had a nap, means a small afternoon sleep. Valli always used these 3 hours for her excursions, as she stood looking from the doorway of her house, or sometimes already even ventured out into the village. She used to travel, move in the streets of a village. Today, these same 3 hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. She thought of having a bus ride. That's what she got into the bus. Now, this is actually flashback, what happened, how she prepared, how he got into the bus with 60 paise. The bus rolled on, moved on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet, means village, or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle. It was looking like that was coming towards them. It was swallowing, like gobbling means, or a pedestrian crossing the road, but lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. You know very well, trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there, helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. So the trees were moving in the opposite direction when you are looking through the window. Suddenly there was an incident. Valli clapped her hands with glee, means happily. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The cow was moving towards the bus. The bus driver slowed down the bus to a crawl, and the driver sounded his horn, bus horn, loudly again and again. But the more he honked the horn, the most frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped. which was afraid because of the horn sound, and it was galloping, running like a mad person, always right in front of the bus. By seeing that, Valli started laughing. Somehow, this was very, very funny to Valli. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes, that is, tears of joy. Immediately, the conductor made a comment. Hey, lady, haven't you laughed enough? Ah, that is sufficient, called the conductor. Come on, dear, better save your laugh some for tomorrow. At last the cow moved off the road. Luckily, the cow moved on the other side of the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance. A small piece was seen at a distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near the bus. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattling sound that shaking the bus. Valli was watching that with surprise. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. On the roadside, both sides a shop. Such big, bright looking shops. What glittering displays of cloths and other merchandise. Merchandise means things for sales. Such big crowd also. She was happening to see all the beautiful shops on both sides of the road. Roadside shops. Struck dumb with wonder. It was a quite surprise for Valli. Valli gaped at everything. She was seeing everything with surprise. Exclamation mark on her eyes. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Valli. The town reached, the bus stopped, everybody got down, but Valli did not. Hey lady, said the conductor. Hi, aren't you ready to get off? Come on, get down. The bus stopped. This is the last stopping. This is as far as your 30 paise takes you. For your 30 paise, the bus can carry you up to this only. Come on, get down. No, Valli said. I am going back on this same bus. I don't want to get down. She took another 30 paise from her packet and handed the coins to the conductor. Why? Why is something the matter? No, nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. I don't want to get down. Come on, give me the return ticket. Don't you want to have a look at the sights in the town now that you are here? All by myself? Oh, I would be much too afraid. No, I'm a small girl. I am afraid. I don't want to get down. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor was wondering, said, but you were not afraid to come in the bus. You are afraid of the town, but you are not at all afraid of traveling in the bus. Nothing to be afraid of about that. I am sitting inside like I am sitting in this house in the bus, she answered. Well, then why not go to that stall over there and having something to drink? There is a sarbat stall. You can drink, you have a juice to drink. Nothing to be afraid of about that either. Oh no, thank you. I couldn't do that. I don't want. Well, then let me bring you a cold drink. Don't worry, you sit in the bus. I will bring a cool drink and give you. No, I'm sorry, I don't want. I don't have enough money to buy. Just give me my ticket, return ticket. That's all. It will be my treat, my dear child. Oh, my dear lady, I'm sorry, and not cost you anything. I will buy and give you as my gift, my treat. No, she said firmly, strongly. Please, no, I don't want any drink. Please, give me the ticket. The conductor shrugged his shoulder and then waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there were not many passengers. The bus started. Now in page number 125, chapter 4. Won't your mother be looking for you, dear? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her return ticket. No one will be looking for me at home. because she believed her mother was sleeping till 4 o'clock. The bus started, and again there were the same wonderful sights she watched through the window. Valli was not at all bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement, same pleasure she had felt the first time, because she is watching outside world first time, so second time also she was enjoying the sceneries the same way with the same excitement. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead, oh my God, by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle of the road. Oh my goodness! Hey, isn't that the same cow that ran in front of our bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. Silently, very sadly, the conductor nodded his head, moving up and down. That means yes. And she was overcome with sadness. She was very, very sad seeing the dead body of the cow. What had been a lovely, beautiful creature just a while ago while going to town had now suddenly lost its life, lost its charm and its life, and looked so horrible now, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over everywhere. Some vehicle, fast moving vehicle, hit the creature. Valli felt very, very sad. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her man, repeatedly coming to her mind, and it was impossible to forget. That was memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. That is pulling down, stopping her enthusiasm means interest to see outside world. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. She sat on the seat, thus glued to her seat. Somebody fixed her on the seat. She was not ready to see outside until the bus reached her village at 3:40. 3:40, the bus reached the own village. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again. Thank you." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. And don't forget to bring your bus fare." She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home, with the hope that her mother would be sleeping. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake. Shush, what a surprise! And talking to someone. Who is that? Oh, one of Valli's aunts. The lady, auntie from South Street. This aunt was really a chatterbox. She never kept closed her mouth. Never closing her mouth. Once she started talking, she will be going on talking and boring all the people. Such an aunt. "And where have you been?" said her aunt. Valli got shocked, but before she replied, when Valli came in, she spoke very casually, not at all expecting the reply from Valli. They continued their conversation. So Valli just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their own conversation. Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst, in the middle of us, and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know, when of course we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely. Can we? We are knowing so many things, but we are able to understand whether it is true or fake. What are we going to do? How can we remember and know everything?" They are talking about some worldly affairs. "Oh, yes, breathed Valli. Nobody knows what happened." "What?" asked her mother. "What is that you say? What does you say?" "Oh," said Valli. "Oh, I was just agreeing with what you said, Ma, about things happening without our knowledge." Here it is a joke played by Valli because mother doesn't know her secret bus ride. Just a chit of a girl. She is a small, she is, said her aunt, and yet look how she pokes her nose into our conversation. That poking her nose is such a idiom that means uh, interfering in elders' conversation, just as though she were a grown-up lady. Valli smiled to herself. She did not want them to understand her smile. They should not understand what she did while mother was sleeping. But then there was not much chance of that. Of course, mother did not know what she did. Chance of that was there? No, there is no chance. That is the answer. The lesson story ends with the question mark. Did mother know anything? There is no chance, he says. Then was there any chance? No. It is actually translated from the Tamil story. That is why the name itself is indicating Valli, Ammai, Valli, Tamil name. It was a Tamil story written by K.S. Sundaram and illustrated by drawing and everything by R.K. Lakshman, the most famous artist storyteller. So that is the end of the wonderful story. Madam rides on a bus. It is a really enjoyable story. Madam rides the bus. Please children, after seeing this YouTube video, once again take the book, read the lesson, enjoy. After enjoying, take our pink color guide given by me, read the summary, question answers and everything. Okay? All the best. Wish you happy Christmas and wish you all happy New Year. Thank you.